Allow me to introduce you to the Renewable Neighborhood Program. Our goal is to promote green living, microgrids, and sustainable design in the city of Lakeville. Essentially, this means that no resident of Lakeville will need to live with the assistance of the city grid and will generate enough resources on their microgrid to satisfy all energy and water demand while maintaining the same standard of living. Hopefully, these microgrids will produce more resources than are demanded and will create a surplus, turning these neighborhoods into renewable power plants. To accomplish this, we propose segmenting Lakeville's residential homes into nearly self-sufficient microgrids, in which each will be retrofitted with solar panels on their roofs with a connected rainwater harvesting apparatus, and sets of clustered sewer systems to handle and treat wastewater. Business nodes in Lakeville will be retrofitted in the same fashion, along with some additional changes that will be covered soon. To begin this process, we will first approach each home in Lakeville with our mission and encourage them to convene with their neighbors to discuss the proposition. We will emphasize the fact that this is a free service and that no participant will need to pay any sort of subscription or fee. Once 10 homes have agreed to sign on, we will connect them all to a clustered sewer system and gray water systems. 10 homes is typically the capacity of the sewer systems we plan on installing. Through this wastewater treatment, we will show surrounding greenery, gardens, and fields can be sustained passively by the mere usage of flush and flow fixtures, improving the landscape, buttressing foliage, and improving air and habitat quality by extension. The sewer lines will be placed under newly constructed bioswales, which will double as natural trails across the residential landscape. As more homes sign on, more groups of 10 can be identified, and the process can repeat itself, taking on new configurations to mesh seamlessly with the landscape around it. The next step will be placing the solar panels on the roofs of these homes. The average square footage of a single-family home in Lakeville is 1,490 square feet. If the entire roof was dedicated to solar power generation, the panels would generate more than twice what the average Lakeville family requires every year. This means that no exceptional action need be taken in order to properly fit homes with solar panels, and that each roof would have ample space. Using the same roofs, rainwater that falls on top of them will be directed towards rain gutters and ultimately into a series of large cisterns, which the homes on the microgrids will share. This 1,490 square feet has the potential to collect nearly 30,000 gallons of water a year in Lakeville. Holding this amount of water requires a carrying capacity of just under 14,000 gallons. To hold this water, large 20 to 50,000 gallon cisterns will be placed underneath the road, with space made by the removal of the city's wastewater lines. In more public areas, smaller cisterns, up to 5,000 gallons in capacity, will be placed above ground and exposed, and designated as usable space for public art to be placed onto them. In the wintertime, the cisterns will be kept from freezing using excess energy generated by the solar panels. In the business nodes, the plan is very similar to that of the residential areas. All businesses will have solar panels placed on the roofs, more than enough to supply solar power for their daily operations, rainwater harvesting systems that will capture and store far more water than will be needed for each business, and clustered sewer systems that will again ultimately remove all business nodes from the city's power and wastewater grids. However, these nodes host infrastructure that present opportunities for further retrofitting. Stormwater gardens in the parking lot can be redesigned as rainwater collection basins, beneath which lie small tanks and water pumps which push the water out to exposed cisterns at grade once a certain water level has been reached. This great surplus of rainwater can offset any deficits incurred by a lack of collection space in residential areas. Finally, we would plan for the business nodes to house new green technologies like kinetic sidewalks and roads, which generate power as each human step is taken. This exhibition of sorts can further inspire an affinity for green living and frequent visitors in Lakeville. In that vein, as previously stated, the exposed cisterns will double as art installations featuring Lakeville-specific art, with the space being allocated to either artists of Lakeville or to artists of their choosing. The overall program will be a community-led project and give Lakeville residents a chance to make a literal mark on their community and checker their desired images across the landscape while simultaneously calling attention to the water it holds and the processes that have brought it there. As an additional note, our mission is always looking for bold new ideas to drag us to the future of green technology and residential living. If you're an architect, engineer, or a designer of any kind, we encourage you to apply to become a part of our team if you share our passions. We are lovers of life. Our intent is to bring about a new built society that centers around cultivating the wealth of both humanity and the natural environment that has nourished us for so many millennia. If you are a resident of Lakeville, sign up today. The following slides are dedicated to larger images of what has been shown previously, displaying exactly what our retrofits could look like in practice. After 2 interviews with members of the Lakeville City Council, each had a differing opinion on the retrofit ideas. one believing that the solar panels would be hardest to implement, and the other believing that the rainwater harvesting would be the hardest to implement. Both, however, agreed that the sewer system will be possible if the city council were to pass some ordinance per microgrid that will allow them to have their own sewers. Currently, it is law in Lakeville that all homes must be connected to the city sewer system. Hopefully, this pitch would convince residents to band together and demand that changes be allowed by the city council for the good of the environment and the success of our mission.